Okay, the first thing we're going to do is get your guys' environment set up. This is the end product that we're shooting for here. Notice we have a name, we have a web link URL, and then we have a picture URL, including the extension. Once we hit submit here, then this is what we should have for our final product. Go ahead and close this out. Now we're going to need to download a few applications to get started. So let's go ahead and go to Google. First we're going to search for Git Bash for Windows. It's probably going to be the first link on here. We're going to want to download this. Also, in case you haven't figured it out, these instructions are for Windows 10. If you're following this off of a Mac or a Linux machine, you should be able to use the normal console to run Git commands. Now, once you download that, we're going to need to set up our IDE. If you already have one you're working with, then feel free to use that. My personal favorite is Visual Studio Code. So we're going to type VS Code. Again, it's most likely going to be the first one on the list here. And you're going to want to download the one for Windows. Once you have those downloaded, the next thing you're going to have to download is a certain Python version. In which case we need Python 3.5.1. We'll go to the Python release website. Gonna want to scroll down here for a bit. And I was able to install it using the web installer.msi, but any one of these, the executable installer or the web installer, should get you what you want. And once you install all that, then you should have your Git Bash console, and you should have your Visual Studio Code file. To verify you have the correct Python version, you're going to want to type this command. And you also want to make sure, if you haven't used Python before, you want to make sure you have pip, just to make sure you have the correct just to make sure you have it installed. You can type the same thing, pip version. And make sure it has the correct path for Python 3.5. Alright, once you have that set, if you already know how to use Git Bash, you're going to want to go to your project directory. Let's see here. I already created a project directory. It's in my Documents Development Z-Code tutorial. Now the next thing we're going to have to do is set up our virtual environment. Our virtual environment is a way to easily manage Python packages. A lot of professional developers use it when they're coding in Python, just to make sure they have all their requirements met and they're not using any erroneous libraries. Now once you're in your project files directory, you're going to want to run this command here. Also, if you don't have virtual env installed, you can install it using, oh, looks like I don't have it installed, so let me go ahead and get that installed. Okay, now this should work. It'll probably take a few minutes for this to finish. Okay, looks like it's finished. Now let's see our directory here. Alrighty. Cool. So notice we have our, it's kind of hard to tell, but we do have a env folder here. And this has all of our Python stuff we're going to be working with. Right now there's not a lot in here, but once we start running our requirements file, then it'll be populated. The next thing we need to do is actually pull down our requirements file. To do so, we need to go to github.com, go to my repository, go to zcode tutorial, and you can either copy the contents of this file and create your own requirements.txt or download it. And once you have it, you're going to want to put it in your same project directory. Like so. Once you have your requirements file, you're going to run another command.